Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes. Boy, did we ever.
Did we ever. I have to say, it is really sad just when they show the clips and the establishing shots of everything. I'm just all like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just seeing all the pictures of what's gone on down in LA and everything. It's just like, I'm wondering how much of that stuff is still there. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, just like the backdrop that is LA, the beautiful backdrop is so much of it is gone. It's really, there's so much sadness and devastation, and yeah. It's just
one of the cinema websites that I Cinema Treasures. I can't believe I'm plugging them before I plug my own cinematour.com. On Cinema Treasures, people were asking are all the theaters in Pacific Palisades, are they okay? And someone was like, maybe don't ask that question right now. Maybe wait for the dust to settle, and everything to clear. There's so many people who've lost so much right now. Yes, we know you're curious about these things, but just keep it to yourself. You can wait a week.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really what's important right now.
Exactly. Especially a building that used to be a movie theater that was a hardware store, and it's like, I'm sure we can go without a hardware store. I don't care how historically, significant or insignificant it might be. But yeah, the people and their stuff. So, someone I saw online had posted a map of where all the housewives' houses are in comparison to the fires and stuff. So.
But it's weird because I thought everything was in a certain area, but then the Santa Ana winds, as we heard on 2Ts, Teddy lives in Encino and she had to evacuate with her family.
Yeah.
So, and that's right down the street from
everyone
Dorit,
else, pretty much.
Yeah, Dorit and Kyle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so much, and really difficult, and we feel for everyone that's affected. It's a very sad time, and.
Yeah. It's a lot to wrap your head around. And, when the fires happened up here in Northern California, the first time I was in Texas on a trip, and so I wasn't really here for it. But the second time I remember being a little worried, and I remember us having kind of a, thinking we should have a go bag in case something happened.
You were thinking about too, because your mom was still at that time, and what would she do? And I think she said that she was ready to just get in your brother's truck and
they had backed my brother's truck up onto the driveway.
Yeah.
And then took a screen off the front bedroom window of the laundry room there, and they were ready to. They were just going to throw stuff out the window into the bed of his truck and then drive off. But I remember talking to her, and she's like, "I have all my good jewelry and all of my favorite bags, so that way when the time comes I can just throw them out the window in the truck and we'll be ready to go." I have our photo albums, and I was like, oh, okay, you got your priorities. But I was saying to her, she was not taking it seriously at all. She's like, oh, it's never gonna. I'm like, you can't do that. A lot of people think it'll never get to you. And where we live, fortunately, it hasn't. But that's what they'd been saying about all these fires in LA, is that it's never gonna happen here. Maybe it's gonna happen out in Malibu because it's a little bit more not foresty, but there's a lot more brush and stuff like that. But,
around it,
they never would have guessed Pacific Palisades would go up the way that it did. And like you say, one shift of the wind and a whole different neighborhood can be destroyed in the snap of a finger. So I just hope that the worst of it is over and that, everything rebuilds and, people are able to get their lives back together. I worry that what'll happen, had happened up here, is that, home insurance, they won't issue insurance anymore. Just like they did in Florida with all the hurricane stuff. And it's just really sad.
Then where does that leave people?
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't come here to be a downer.
Yeah.
We came here to talk Housewives. And
we noticed that Dorit was supposed to be on Watch What Happens Live tonight with Erin from New York, and she obviously is not, because it's just it's this weird thing of that's not the priority. But of course, you still talk about it. And Andy made mention of it last week, and I'm sure they'll mention it tonight as well. And so it's this weird thing of do we talk about fun stuff, shady housewife comments, or But I think it's just nice. Not nice. It's just a moment to thinking about something else.
Yeah, it's a moment of levity for those who have room for it.
Right.
For those who don't, they won't be listening, to us or any other thing anyway. They'll be dealing with what's in front of them. So
exactly.
And then for those people who don't live anywhere near LA or don't have any comprehension of how widely and unexpectedly devastating it is, they probably want to listen to something else anyway. They're probably tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, it's interesting that people who don't understand the concept of it or never even heard of Pacific Palisades or Altadena, and it's like, yeah, but there's still people, and it's these it's
people's home.
Be thoughtful about people, even if like you're like, oh, whatever, that's not me. It's like, yeah, but it's somebody just like you.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that I saw a lot of was people saying like, oh, they're actors, they can afford it. And it's like, okay, first off, a working actor, like so few actors just make millions and bajillions of dollars. For,
consistently.
And your favorite actors that are even on a TV show right now, that money isn't going to last very long, let alone enough to rebuild, a $4 million house, and whether you like it or not, like they didn't necessarily have $4 million in cash. That was a house that they got a mortgage on and they were able to make it work, but yeah, there are plenty of rich, insanely rich people that, have access to more money than they know what to do with. But
that's not everyone. Yeah, no, you're right. People think entertainment, actors, and all that, Hollywood, it's like, oh, you'll be fine. You have all the money that you...
Not necessarily. I mean, definitely more privileged than most. And I think that they're humble enough to, in most cases, to acknowledge that. But at the same time, they don't have just money sitting in their pocket to go ahead and rebuild or go pay whatever exorbitant prices hotels are charging for shelter at this time, So it's unfortunate. The other thing that, like, before we move on, is that I was hearing from people seriously thought that, like, those rumors that they ran out of water were true, and that Oregon's fire trucks were turned away because they weren't registered in the state of California. I was like, are you for real? Like, who you actually believe that? And it's just like all these it's the same people that think San Francisco's a cesspool because that's what they hear on TV, when in fact everyone who goes there, like, this is actually really nice. I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah, no, I saw Billy Porter posted the video, like this woman like debunking the Oregon thing and the running out of water thing, and just like broke it all down like, that's not true.
So if you're out of state listening to this and you are feeling like you're starting to believe any of those rumors, they're not true.
Do a little bit of research. Get off of Facebook.
Yeah. But meanwhile, on Housewives, because I don't think much of anything. We already talked in our last episode about brunching all weekend, and today just was off yesterday. I sat around playing video games, and now today I'm back to work, and I was working nonstop today, so I'm ready for some levity.
Yes, same. Oh, we should mention though, get well soon to our friends who were struck down by a brunch plague that we hope not to get. The flu is going around, and not our brunch crew from Saturday, but our brunch friends from Sunday. Yeah, a lot of brunches.
They sent the group text today that they have succumbed to the flu. So we so far are good, but we got the flu shot, and we're hoping. We also did spend a lot of time outside, so I'm hoping that really.
We were, and when we were inside, we were only with a couple of people, so we weren't all like shoved up.
Chris thought we might have been making out with each other there, and that might spread it, but it turns out none of us made out. We don't do that at brunch.
No,
we're not swingers like in
like Mia and Jacqueline.
Exactly. we're not Potomac swingers.
Side note, I was like creeping into the Potomac Reddit, and they called it.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? There's nothing of bad news there.
They called it not Potomac. Whoa.
No.
Not Potomac. Oh my gosh.
Potomac?
They called it Porn-tomac.
Okay, all right.
I finally got that out. Sorry. The joke kind of fizzled.
Yeah, no. But, I think the build up worked.
Yeah, and then people were just saying like how they were so over them like Jacqueline and Mia talking about their sex lives and watching and and swapping partners, and it's like, I think, as we said, we're not shaming people for like having sex. We're sex positive people, but it's just was so excessive and done in a way that, like, why are we only talking about this?
So you had posted the picture of, sorry, I'm yawning, didn't mean to. Woo! You posted that picture of of Jacqueline and Ashley kissing.
Yes.
As our episode kind of announcement for the Potomac episode, or the Porn Potomac.
Instagram, yeah.
And I came through my Facebook feed today on our page. Follow us on Facebook, Husbands Watching Housewives, and on Instagram.
Get back on Facebook just for that. Get back off.
Yeah, exactly. It came through my feed, and I was like, oh, God, I'm tired of hearing about this. And then when I realized it was our own damn page, I was like, oh, we're part of the problem.
We are.
So, yeah. Again, I'm not, sexually speaking, kiss who you want to kiss, do what you want to do. You want to share partners as long as we're all consenting adults, knock yourselves out.
It's just dull.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, I think it was like the producers thought like, oh, it would be maybe not shocking, but like, oh, alluring, and like get people like, oh my gosh, what did Mia and Jacqueline do? But it's just because they've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
It's just
there's a really good episode of This American Life where they talk about the things you should never talk about. And it's really innocent things, like one of the producers' mom says, people who talk about traffic are the most dull people in the whole world.
That's my parents.
Like, yeah, people who just talk about the route that they took and all that, they're just like, no one cares. No one wants to hear. And the same thing, there's like a segment about talking about your dreams. People don't care about your dreams in the night before. Like, you barely care when I tell you my dream that I had. So there was a couple other subjects that were really interesting, but it's really funny because they actually sit down and talk about those things, and they actually have some really interesting stories about those topics.
Yeah.
But I feel like your sex life after a certain age is something that other people just aren't interested in.
I don't think it's the age, because I think if they were in their 20s and they're discussing it, I would just get bored because it's a big nothing burger, and it was so many years ago, and it isn't about them now. There's no drama.
That's what I mean. I think that if it was someone in their 20s talking about them having, we doing this in our 20s.
No, that's what I mean. It's sorry.
Oh, just anyone talking about what they're doing right now would be.
No, it's not that either. It's the fact that it's going towards nowhere. It could be 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. This serves the plot in no way.
Got it.
It's not like, oh, you slept with it's not like, and then when this ever happens on a Housewives show, that's when it would be like, Andy Cohen will die and from the shock of it all. But it's not like I stole your husband, I slept with your husband, and we're on the same show together. This is like 20 years ago, maybe sort of kind of Mia watched so-and-so and Jacqueline watched so-and-so in Ink. And it's just like, why are we talking about this?
Right.
It has nothing to do with the current trip.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, just because I don't want to keep talking about.
Oh yeah.
Now I have some other examples.
I know how we
let's move on. Let's talk about
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. The to be continued, and really did for no good reason. They didn't resolve anything. They show up that we returned to the Viper room, and they're still screaming at each other.
I'm going to preface this episode.
You can't talk tonight. Why are you in front of a microphone? Have you been drinking? Is this?
It's straight vodka. It's from Sutton's pantry.
Yeah, that's just water.
We swished it.
Yeah. No one swishes vodka. If they swish vodka, they're lunatics.
I mean, yeah.
It'd burn. So, yes.
I'm going to say, surprise, surprise, I will probably take Kyle's side most of this episode.
Should we counterpoint?
Too.
I'll take Dorit's side and everything. You take Kyle's.
It's because talking about a nothing burger, I don't understand what. Okay. Let me try to think about it from Dorit's point of view. I'm in a bad place with my husband. My so-called good friend is still talking to him and not being transparent. I get it. I get that mind space a bit, but I would get it more if there is more to it. Like, is she trying to say Kyle is good friends with PK and won't admit it? There's something going on romantically with PK and won't admit it. That she's talking smack about Dorit and vice versa and won't admit it. Like, what does she really want to get out here? What does she want Kyle to say?
Yeah, what is she worried
in order to feel better about the situation? Well, that's what I want Dorit to say. When Erika was saying, what do you need from Kyle? I want to say, not even like what does Dorit want from this situation? Like, what does she want to be said in order to move forward? And a very straightforward, concise sentence. I want her to say that, not her blah 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 blah. Dorit.
And so, I think that's what it comes down to as well, is that Kyle knows that Dorit doesn't give a shit about it.
Yes.
She knows that it comes down to it that Dorit knows there's nothing going on and that she's just saying this to suggest to people and the viewers that Kyle's being a horrible person.
Yes, a shitty friend.
Continuing to deal with PK, even though Dorit does not actually care what's going on. And as far as the text message that Kyle reveals to Garcelle and Sutton and Erika at Chuck E. Cheese, that is a nothing burger to me as well.
Yes.
Like because here's the thing. She's friends with both of them. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Dorit got a very similar text the day that they announced that they were breaking up, that's saying, hey, I'm with you, I'm your friend, and anything you say to me, I'm going to keep under my hat, because
anything you've said to me in the past, I'm going to keep under my hat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to run to the blogs now or whatever. Exactly. Or say in an interview, because that's happened to Kyle and she's been hurt by that.
Right.
So I don't think she was saying, I'm going to keep the deep, dark secrets that we've texted to each other, PK. That are up the thread. I think it's more so like, in general, what we have discussed while we are all good friends, good couple friends, I'm not going to reveal that. So we're just going to keep this, we're still going to keep our jokes and memes.
Right.
But there's nothing to it. And the other women were like falling over their Prada bags. Hermes bags.
You can say they're falling over their dicks.
That's what I was going to say. So and run with this. And I don't know who's going to be the first to tell Dorit. But that person's going to be Bo said you have to do it to Garcelle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll make Dorit like Garcelle if she comes clean with it.
But that's
it's just so dumb. Yeah, it's absolutely so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, so backing up a little bit,
to the Viper room.
Well, no, I'm just backing up to. So, if we were, let's say we were going through something really bad. I can't even imagine what that looks like, because we're just perfect, the two of us. You and I, we're two peas in a pod. So no, but we're going through something awful. You don't want to talk to me. You're like, Scott is just being absolutely unreasonable. And then you find out I'm texting with Ashley, because Ashley's just like, look, you didn't do anything wrong to me, and I know you love Jeff in your own way, and I want you to work things out, but I think you would probably lose your shit.
It would throw me.
Yeah.
It would really throw me.
I think you would actually be way more upset about it to find out that Ashley and I are still texting, even if it was look at this funny little meme. I mean, forget for the fact that Ashley and I don't text right now. And that would be the weirder part, is that we suddenly start texting because of this. But I think you would probably be more team Dorit in that example.
That's a good way of putting it. So, yes, I would be quite upset if you were texting my best friend.
Yeah.
If we weren't in a good place. Yeah. Oh gosh, you got me with logic.
So, but at the same time, if we have other friends that we just exchange memes with, and that I think you'd be a little less pissed off about. So all this being said is that Kyle is not Dorit's best friend.
Yeah. Is not.
Neither is PK Kyle's best friend.
Right.
So none of this really equates to what we're talking about.
Right.
But I do wonder if what Bose said towards the end, where we have all sorts of besties, and there's this one who gets pissed off that when they see me with other people, they think I'm her best friend, she's my number one best friend. Do you think that Dorit, honestly?
No, nor do I think she wanted Kyle to be her, or to be Kyle's number one.
Right.
That's the thing where I get what Bose was saying, but I don't think it applies, because I think if you really cornered Dorit on it, she would admit, we weren't as good as friends,
Right. I think she'd say, I wish we were better friends than we are, or that we have been. But I don't think there's any illusion for a moment that they were besties who fell out.
No, I think with Kyle, I see who Kyle, posts with, and his annual Christmas, lunches with, and it's a lot of, not aside from Faye Resnick and Teddy and Justin Sylvester, it's a lot of civilians, normal folk that have been her friends.
She's not going out with Camille all the time, but she invited her to that party,
right?
Just to ambush Dorit,
just to do it. They're texting about no, but there are a lot of normal people who've been her friends for years. That's her close inner circle, close friends.
Right.
So Dorit wasn't that. And she knows she wasn't that. And she's trying to like just make it seem like she's just been so betrayed on so many fronts with Kyle.
Right.
And it's not. And I'm not buying it, girl.
Yeah.
So
again, I can imagine next week's episode when Kyle runs out of the room
in the bathrobe
is because, I mean, I would be tired of it too. Like, you're trying to make me out to be someone you know that I'm not. And like, if we're going to sit here and be like, say that I thought we were better friends, like I thought we were better friends that you wouldn't pull this shit on me.
Right. And that's what Kyle was so pissed off at the beginning of the episode. And then for Dorit to say, well, the veins were bulging her forehead because she was guilty. And it's like, girl, no, she was just really pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Like she was blackout angry, and which I don't really necessarily believe that, over exaggeration, but she was just that angry that you were making this a thing after they seemingly had got to like an okay place.
Although once she pointed out that vein bulging in her forehead, I couldn't stop seeing it. I actually thought, like, is a chunk of her head just gonna pop right off?
Like she's gonna have an aneurysm. And I knew later on when she was talking to Sutton, and she said like there's only one other time it happened on the show would be the Camille thing.
I honestly, I didn't know that, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. And there's that vein.
But even then, she wasn't that angry, because I think even back, because she and Camille weren't friends at all. They hated each other at that time. But like she and Dorit are friends. So like to get this, even if they're like more surface friends, to get smacked with this in the face by Dorit at the Viper Room,
right?
Just was like, she's like, I am done.
I honestly thought she was going to say the last time she got like that was with the Name-em situation with Sutton.
Oh,
right. Like, Kyle wasn't that pressed about that.
No,
so I knew that. I was like, that can't be it.
She was just more irked because that Sutton wouldn't let her get a thought out.
What I think happens, and I get this way as well, is when, I don't know, like I honestly, when you're being gaslit, like when you're just like absolutely like, what the hell is going on? Like I know that this is not the reality, but like you refuse to listen to it.
Yeah.
And like you're just trying to like it happens to me a lot, especially with work, when they want me to prove the negative. And it's like, you can't prove something doesn't exist. Like, you know, like
you can't prove that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can't prove that something isn't happening, or something is happening. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Theoretically happening.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, it just gets me like so frustrated where I'm just like, I can't reason with you because you're asking me to prove the impossible. And so I think that's where, I can see definitely where Kyle's getting.
Yeah.
So anyway, after the Viper Room,
they go for a dumb country club lunch. Sutton's. I was like, why are you trying to do a theme? Why? Why are you trying to do a theme?
I mean, that outfit Sutton was wearing was not flattering.
No, it was not. And she wears great, fine clothes. And she
had another A-line dress she could have worn, that would have worked just fine.
Or like a cute little polo and some shorts.
Right.
That
thing made her look like Humpty Dumpty, I'll just say. It was pushing her body around in different ways that it was not a flattering outfit.
No, it was not flattering. No.
And then Kyle could have at least done a little more country club effort.
Kyle didn't seem to know that they were actually doing the theme. Like, I wonder, like, it was made clear to her, because she's like,
She's like, oh, we're actually doing this? Oh, okay.
All country club just means like, a tennis skirt and like a polo shirt. That's all Kyle had to do. But she was
Garcelle got the assignment, though. She did.
She looked really cute, yeah. But I think, it was definitely, because Sutton still had the same hair from last night, it was definitely the next day.
Yeah.
And, Kyle was just still pissed off. She's like, I'm not playing right now. I'm not playing tennis. I'm not playing with you. The big thing about that lunch was Sutton like letting it slip about
the infidelity.
And I love Kyle's like, what are you talking about?
At that point, Sutton should have just said what she meant.
Yes, I believe the rumors that that Mauricio cheated on you. And then they do the flash to the reunion when Kyle said she lost trust. That could mean anything. She didn't say infidelity. So I don't know if you want to go all lawyer on it. Yeah. But like, she didn't say those words. So that's why she's like, what do you mean? There was no infidelity. Sutton.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, part of me really wishes they'd just been like say that I thought that's what that meant. That's what I took that to mean. And like, I believe the blogs for sure. But like, there was definitely that like glance back and forth of like the narrative right now does not include Mauricio cheating on me. And if you say that on camera, I'm going to rip your tennis racket out your ass. Handle first.
Sutton.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what that meant. And yeah, it's like either have the balls to say it, like Garcelle at the end.
Right.
If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian.
I mean, and Kyle didn't like shy away from that. I mean, she didn't say like, okay. I mean, she did get
the reaction to the confessional is like, oh.
She did get a little reaction of like, oh, okay, like whatever that's about. And it's like, oh, Kyle, we know what that's about.
Oh, at the beginning of the season, she's talked about like talking to her daughters about her sexuality, and so.
Right.
But you know, she's not going to be like a full-blown lesbian.
Yeah, she hasn't traded in the Range Rover for Subaru. She's not going down to Home Depot all the time. I understand.
She's not bringing out those flannels. So yes, so we go from that, and then was it Dorit and Erika, which you kind of like already went over. What do you need from Kyle?
Yeah, but weren't they going furniture shopping again?
Yeah, so that thing. I of course love Erika, but this whole story of like, and Dorit tried to spin it so high up. It's like a rebirth, Erika. You're being reborn with this furniture. And I'm like, it's just a chair, honey. A chair is just a chair, as both Luther Vandross and frick, I can't make the joke happen.
What? It's all right. Sometimes a
chair is still a chair.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Why is this falling?
Well, I'm going to continue talking and say, I think you found your perfect Dorit impression, because I think it's a mix of trying to be Dorit and Alan Cumming at the same time. Erika, darling.
Murder.
So we just watch more Traitors and more Beverly Hills. We'll get it right eventually.
She sings, oh my God, why am I like, walk on by? I am totally blanking on this woman who I love.
I don't know.
She's an older singer. She's in her 80s.
Patti LaBelle?
She's singing That's What Friends Are For. Why am I blanking?
Oh, God. Now I'm blanking on it.
It starts with a D. Dionne
Warwick.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Forgive me, Dionne.
I was about to start saying, through good times and bad times, just to start getting the name, yeah.
Anyways, both Dionne Warwick and Luther Vandross saying a house is still a house. Yes.
I'm really hoping someone listening was like, Dionne Warwick, you idiot.
I kept thinking like Dorit, and I'm like, that's not it. Dionne.
When I listen to podcasts, sometimes I'll just be screaming like, I know the answer.
Well, I'm glad we got it out before like we ended the episode, because that would have been annoying.
That would have been very annoying.
Because no one in the comments is going to tell us.
Yeah, also the furniture they were looking at didn't like Shania Twain says, it didn't impress me much.
No,
it was like a lot of beige and a lot of like,
and huge couches that wouldn't fit her space.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Although they're saying that the couch they were sitting on was the one they were going to buy. Oh. Which I don't understand.
But it wasn't a huge one. It wasn't like that sectional that went on for days.
It seemed like it was, and it didn't seem very comfortable. Like she sat on that thing and she bounced. I want a nice squishy couch, not a bouncy couch. Save the bouncy for the Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, we'll get there. So yeah, we leave them in there, and then, oh my God, Bose
went in for the fibroid.
And her day of like, I was like, why are we starting at 4 something? And I was like, going in for the surgery. Here's my man. 4 hours later, out of surgery, not feeling great, recovering, and then here comes Kyle.
Yeah, that's got to be quite an ask, like 9 hours after going in for surgery, to be like, all right, let me hear about this housewife garbage.
Right. Let me put a wig on and receive Kyle Richards at my house.
All right, production, you got me.
I don't think Bose, well, one, she just doesn't know Kyle as much as she does Dorit, but she's not giving Kyle a lot of grace. Like, her confessionals are a bit shady, of like, a hit dog is going to holler. You don't know her like that, you know? So, but I like Bose. I'm not going to like throw down.
Well, I mean, she called it though. I mean, she called and said that, Kyle's coming over to kind of give her point of view.
Right. No, for sure. I think she's trying to like bring her over to her side, because like Kyle's like, whatever, I'm Kyle. I don't need to you on my side. I think it's more so like, I want a more well-rounded point of view, because when Bose was saying in the Viper Room, like, you broke girl code. It's like, it's not like that,
right.
you know? But
I do have to agree, though, like, Bose's assessment of the fact that, like, Dorit started just blurting her life story out to Bose the minute she met her, like, and to anyone who would listen is what's going on. The fact that Kyle was unaware of that was going on seems a little shady. Now, I think Kyle's being a little nitpicky in what she knew was going on versus not knew what was going on.
Right.
Because the clips they showed, they were both kind of alluding and dancing around the fact that they had talked about it. Kyle knew things weren't happy between the two of them, so it's not anything special. But
I'm gonna need after reunion to really break it down, like when you knew what, and
I don't even need them.
Well, I just need because like it's a lot of the basis of the argument of like, you knew that we were in a good place, so why would you talk to PK? Or you knew I was feeling this way, and it's like we weren't talking because I was still pissed at you about the reunion thing.
So okay, let's back up a bit.
Yeah.
So we already used the example of you, me, and Ashley, that whole thing. Now. We have friends that if they were friends with both of them, and if they were to have some troubles, we would still text both of them and say, "Hey, we have your back," and all that stuff.
Right.
So again, in this situation, it doesn't seem all that ridiculous. Whether when Kyle knew what or what not, she should still be able to text PK. It's not like she's texting PK saying that Dorit's a complete bitch. She's not saying that. She's
Although she did call her a bitch like many times on this episode.
But she's not disparaging the one to the other.
Right.
It's not happening. I'm not saying that
she's not going back and forth, like playing them, you know,
And that's what it comes down to. Like, I know that, like, there's certain friends of mine that if they took issue with me texting their ex, I would tell them to piss off and say, I'm sorry, I'm just as much their friend as I am yours. And there are friends that I would say, okay, I understand, but they're more likely my friend than their partner's friend. So I just think the whole idea of you can't text my ex, girl code or whatever, is the most ridiculous thing ever, especially if you were truly friends with both of them.
And also examining the context of that text.
Yes. So again, this whole who knew what, when, where, forget all that.
Yeah.
I think first, Dorit knows it's not a big deal. She's making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be. And then I think that if it's truly that big of a deal to Dorit, then she has other problems. Like, focus on yourself, girl. Like, get through this and make yourself happy. Right.
The whole, I'm not going to do this. The rules have changed, Kyle.
Like, I can understand when she was getting up in Kyle's face and lunging at her at the Viper Room. Like, being screamed at, like, which they were both doing. But first, it's a loud room. They had to scream.
Yes.
So it's a quick jump from scream to shouting in someone's face.
Right.
Like, if you need to show emphasis, you got to do it somehow, one way or another. But so I understand she's easily triggered by someone trying to diminish her, which I'm all in favor of Dorit being the best Dorit she could possibly be.
Right.
But I don't think she's doing herself justice by, like, reacting and just adding it on extra heavy.
Yeah.
You know, whenever she's confronted, it's like, I think she just needs, I don't know, therapy.
Yes. Not therapy with PK, her own therapy. Yeah.
And just really, really, really realize herself. And, you know, Erika needs to be a champion for her, for Dorit, and her, you know, finding herself again, the way that Dorit was a champion for Erika's furniture.
Not Erika's furniture.
I need a rebirth. Like,
rebirth, Erika.
Honey, you need a rebirth. You just see what you need to do. You need to fly free. Fly like an eagle.
Now you're like Dorinda.
Yeah.
Eagles don't fly with pigeons.
So, yeah, just a little ridiculous.
Yes, I agree.
I thought it was very cute. Until they showed Erika saying how many pizza parties she didn't get.
That was hilarious. I'm gonna be a Sparta. I'm gonna be a Sparta.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many times she had mentioned it. It was almost as many times as, was it Kathy the one season when she kept trying to mention the tequila?
No,
yeah. She showed all the clips of her like, tequila.
I got my tequila here.
Yeah. So it's cute that they took her, and I like that she was a good sport about being taken to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, it's not Vegas, but it's Chuck E. Cheese. It was super cute. I wonder where that was. Like, is it somewhere in the valley?
Oh, yeah, it had to be.
I don't know.
It looked like Northridge to me, if I had to guess. Also, if I had to figure whether it'd be a Chuck E. Cheese in LA, it'd be Northridge or Tarzana or something.
Right. But it was hilarious and cute. And the fact that, like, they're like people there are like, what the hell? With their kids, they had to like pour out.
Well, when Kyle's climbing on the skee ball machine, I would be looking at her too.
Like Kyle Richards in that skee ball machine. I wonder if the pizza actually was good. It looked like it could be good, but like it's Chuck E. Cheese.
It's thin crust, so it didn't have a crust on it. It was pan pizza, so it didn't have the crust up there. So that's already a point down. I hear Chuck E. Cheese pizza's okay. We need to get Little Caesars sometime.
Oh my goodness.
We did that once when we first moved here, or were we still in the city when we did that?
We did Chuck E. Cheese in the city.
No,
remember that?
Little Caesars.
So, oh God.
Yeah.
Little Caesars in the city.
That's the only time we've done
during
it
the pandemic.
Yeah. We never did it again.
Yeah.
But there's one right down the street. We need to.
Little Caesars, so
get our pizza. I can get like something you don't like on one, and we each have our own pizza.
And it's square, right?
It can be.
Yeah. I remember that. Like
the
in the 90s.
Pizza's circular if you get two, but you can get the square one.
Oh, the square. Yeah.
But, I think there are other franchises and other housewives, even in Beverly Hills, who would be pissed off to be taken to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, for sure. Like,
I think honestly, if they had taken Sutton to a Chuck E. Cheese as some sort of thing, I think Sutton would have been like, what? Man, what will the ballet think?
I think it would have just been like really random. But yeah, I think more so in New York, if they like come out, what say like Yonkers.
Jess was like, I'd never been Yonkers.
Jess will be like, are we seriously at a Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes.
I don't know why I just sound like the Queen for a second.
You're best British. You're tired. I understand.
But no, it was super cute. And then they like got to like talk about, I'm confused.
Hold on, before you move on.
Yeah.
I want to see Jen Aiden at a Chuck E. Cheese.
I mean, she would shove a kid into a pit, like a
ball pit,
ball pit just for fun. Like
that 80-year-old woman's making my pizza too slow.
I mean, we should go to Jersey Mike's, and honestly,
we really should just to give them some love.
Seriously, after all that,
we can put it on TikTok before TikTok goes away.
Oh my gosh, days are numbered.
Although there's a bill being circulated that might extend it like 90 days.
Extension?
Yeah,
okay.
So it might be nice.
I hope so.
Anyway, back to you were saying it was nice that they were talking about...
well, I was... I do not understand if Erika is officially divorced from Tom. Is that official?
I don't know.
I should Google that because I don't know. Because she talks about like, the next husband. I just didn't know if she... and how they're all single, but I'm like, is she totally single or is it...
Yeah, I don't know. Or are they just estranged? And I don't know. Like, I feel like they're divorced. But yeah, has it ever really been official? And is it...
I feel like she would say that more officially and like pronounce like, I'm divorced from Tom now. I'm getting new furniture at my place. Like,
right.
It would be, I don't know.
I did like her story about the second wife backing up.
That was hilarious.
40-foot Mayflower. She cleaned him out.
She didn't even leave him toilet paper. That's that little detail that's just like puts it over the top.
And I like that she was saying, like, I took like 4 pieces of furniture, or else it would have looked bad. And the looked bad is the thing she's not saying. It would look like I'm taking all the money that Tom stole from
Exactly. They probably were like, no, leave that behind, girl.
Yeah, as it was, I got the earrings and I already had to give those back.
And I got them back. And
she had to give them back.
Again?
Yeah, no, it was determined. I think the last thing I read about it was that it was determined that they were part of his thing and they need to be surrendered, and she did. So I think it was determined she had no knowledge of that or wrongdoing in it, but they need to be returned.
Yeah.
So
I still say screw that douche-nard from Mad Men to be like, honey, they were never yours to begin with.
John Hamm.
Like, stay out of it, John Hamm. That's why I don't like John Hamm.
You don't like John Hamm for very many reasons.
No, well, he's a tool.
I can see that.
He is a tool. I'm not down with him. And that put it over the top. Like, because he's like, I just want to shake her. I'm like, don't say that about a woman. Don't. No. Sit down.
I like John Hamm for his, I don't know. Mad Men was a fine show. I wasn't like crazy about it.
I was never really into it.
But he, when he does comedy, he's really funny. And I like his comedy approach.
I can't laugh at it.
Yeah, see, and that's why if you didn't watch 30 Rock, there's so many things you didn't watch.
Look, when you're dead to me, you're dead to me. It's done.
Yeah, but it's always...
You're buried.
So who's worse, John Hamm or Justin Timberlake?
Oh, Justin Timberlake for sure. Okay. But like... Yeah, it's not even a contest.
I think one of these days I have to put together a little game, like who would you rather choose?
Stand at like a desert island with.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even one of those TikTok filters where you like tilt your head back and forth, left and right, like, who would you rather pick? And then you do the brackets.
Oh.
Then you have to, it comes down to the final two. So.
I think Justin still is my number one turd. Yeah. Gotta say. Mm-hmm.
All right, back to Beverly Hills. So they get into the whole like, be a lesbian, like, when we get married again, blah, blah, blah. So she shows them all the text, which now I bet she wishes she didn't. Yeah.
She just said like, I'm not doing it out of principle, but then she did it. And again, we said earlier, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, and also I don't know. I would take a lot for me to show anyone my phone. Like, just out of principle alone, that you could go piss up a rope if you think there's something on my phone that shouldn't be there that,
that
affects you. Yeah. And there may be. I mean, I'm just saying, like, but I shouldn't have to show that to you. Like, I think your phone is like your last bastion of privacy right now. And I know that, like, the FBI can probably be looking at my phone right now if they really wanted to. I don't really care about them. It's just like I'd probably show. I mean, I'd show my phone, but like if you asked me to, or if I found you going through,
oh gosh,
if I found you going through my phone, I would have a huge problem. And there's nothing on that. There's nothing on my phone. But it's just the fact that you would feel like you had the right to look at my phone, and that my friends or anyone does for any search. I would just be no, hell no.
Yeah, the real like deep right up it. To go deep into someone's phone. Like with us, it's like I get your phone to like change the podcast on Spotify, or pull up a playlist. Or like I'll give you mine if I'm driving and I'm like text Sinclair back and say blah blah blah. Yeah. But like we're not asking, nor will we go without permission. Like,
but even so, I've gone through your photos before just to see, like, I'm sitting there bored, but it's like I'm not expecting to find anything, and if I did, that's my own dumb fault for looking, But I wouldn't like suspiciously do that. And so to ask that of a friend, that's just ridiculous. I think Kyle should stand on that and be like,
Dorit. She should have stood on it, because now it's gonna like be a domino effect of like, oh my gosh, that thing, and like bows of like, oh, 1 + 2 + 3 doesn't add up, and da da da. And I'm like, it's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Then again, like, I'm sure she sent the exact same text to Dorit.
Yes. There's no big gotcha. There's no like smoking gun.
It was weird that Kyle did. Not try to make a thing, but she brought up the whole meme rumors about Dorit and Mo.
What was the point of that?
Yeah, it was kind of like offbeat. I mean, I kind of felt like in one sense she was trying to tell Bose like I could make a thing out of this,
right,
if I wanted to, but I'm not. Like, but that's the sort of thing that goes around the internet. Like, it's not a thing. Like, I know that it's not. Or was she trying to say, like, these are the sorts of memes that we send back and forth? It's like, haha, isn't this funny? They think Dorit and Mo are together, or a thing, or just different things about the show. I didn't quite get what it was about.
I feel like it's more the former. Yeah, it didn't land. It was weird. And like, Bose didn't quite understand it. I think it's more so like,
she could make a deal out of it, but she's not going to.
Right.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I just think she was trying to illustrate to Bose in a way without breaking the fourth wall that like we see a lot of stupid shit about our role on the show and what's going on in our lives supposedly that just is not true. And that's the sort of stuff.
I also think when Kyle says like, I think she means that it wouldn't be an issue if it was reversed, that Dorit says it would be such an issue if she was talking to Mo, because Kyle and Mo aren't in a bad place like Dorit and PK are. So
Kyle did say it would bother her, that like
she did say,
it would bother her, but like again, like to what degree,
depending on again the context of it. If it was just like, here's a dumb meme, or here's like Jagger and Phoenix like at the recital, like innocent stuff, as opposed to like, how do you feel about Kyle's lesbianism?
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's such a weird situation.
Yeah.
So. Well, did we get through everyone? Jennifer wasn't on. Kathy wasn't on.
She was not. Kathy's been kind of AWOL. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone else we got to put some strings up on this.
We do.
Now that we know some actual drama.
Yes.
Halfway through, we're never to do Potomac because it's almost done.
It would all lead to Mia. I believe there's like a few more episodes though.
Yeah,
like probably like 4 or so.
Maybe we should just get some lipstick and we'll just kiss the picture of Mia.
Oh my God. It was just this. We're not even going to go down that road.
Yeah, we're not. We already started off the show going down that road. Why do we?
Potomac.
Yeah. So I think we should go ahead and wrap this up. And I think we should try to do New York. We should go watch that now and record an episode.
That's crazy. I'd be like punch drunk, like, and then I said, Giselle wish.
Well, then maybe
Giselle.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe you'll get Dionne Warwick confused again. You'll just keep mixing. You mix it.
I feel so bad. I love Dionne Warwick so much. She's constantly on my Spotify. I don't know why. I must be so tired that left my brain, and I could not think of her.
Well, we should think about her next time.
Until next time.